right, let's take a deep dive into ancient Babylon. We're cracking open a classic today, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, yeah, this one's packed with those parables,
We'll love them.
Yeah, and we'll see if those ancient Babylonians had any wisdom that still works for building wealth today.
Well, I think when you look at this book and you see, it's been around for so long and it's still so popular, you got to think there's got to be something to it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's what I love about Clausen's approach. He uses stories, little journeys into ancient life to make financial advice, I don't know, more relatable and just more fun, frankly.
Relatable, I think, is definitely the key word there.
Yeah.
And speaking of relatable, let's start with the legend himself, the OG,
Okay.
Arkad, the richest man in Babylon.
All right, let's hear it.
I mean, even the king sought out his advice.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about influence.
Yeah, so what's interesting is that Arkad, he wasn't born into wealth or anything. He started as a humble scribe, like a lot of folks in Babylon, but he had this burning desire to build wealth.
Yeah.
He didn't want to just, watch other people enjoy the banquet of good things, as he put it.
Yeah.
And he had this really great quote about it, too.
What's the quote?
He said, "I decided to myself that I would claim my share of the good things of life, that I would not be one of those who stand afar off enviously watching others enjoy."
I mean, can you imagine? Like, they're just...
I can relate to that. I'm sure a lot of your listeners can, too. I mean, who hasn't felt that way at some point, wanting more out of life?
Sure, yeah. But so what set Arkad apart then? I mean, what did he do? Like, was it one big move or a bunch of, like, little calculated steps?
Well, that's the beauty of this story. He didn't strike it rich overnight.
Yeah.
He recognized that true wealth is built over time consistently, like a
Yeah.
river constantly replenishing itself, And so he came up with these principles, 7 of them. He called them the 7 cures for a lean purse. And they're all about creating that consistent flow of income.
All right, so let's break down these cures. Cure number 1, start thy purse to fattening. I mean, it sounds pretty straightforward, right?
Right to the point, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how many people miss this first step.
Okay.
Arkad, he was adamant that you got to set aside at least 10% of your earnings before anything else.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first.
Exactly.
So kind of like that first fruits idea,
Yeah.
right? From ancient cultures, where you'd give like the best part of your harvest to the gods, kind of as a way to honor them.
It's a great analogy. It's like you're honoring yourself and your future by making that saving a priority.
Oh, okay.
And it's not just some ancient idea either. This is still like the foundation of good personal finance advice today.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. All right, so we stashed away our savings. What's the next cure on Arkad's list?
Cure number 2 is control thy expenditures.
Ooh.
Now, that might sound a bit, I don't know, like a buzzkill at first.
Yeah.
Right. The word budgeting doesn't exactly scream excitement.
No, it doesn't. It kind of conjures up like, images of like, just eating like lentils and rice every day.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But it's not about deprivation.
Okay.
Think of it more like using one of those budgeting apps,
Right.
They help us track our spending and be mindful of our choices.
Yeah.
Arkad was big on aligning your spending with what you value, not just mindlessly spending on whatever catches your eye.
So it's less about like, denying yourself and more about like making conscious decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
Not getting caught up in those impulse purchases or trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Right, or the Babylonian equivalent.
Yeah.
It's about understanding where your money's going and making sure it reflects what's important to you.
Yeah, makes sense.
So enjoy life, but within that 90% of your earnings.
Right.
That other 10%, that's the foundation we talked about.
Exactly. Okay, so that brings us to cure number 3, and this is where things start to get interesting. Make thy gold multiply. So this is where investments come in, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Arkad understood that you can't just sit on your savings. You got to
Right.
put your money to work.
Okay.
And he illustrates this perfectly with the story of Agar, the shield maker.
Oh, right. Yeah, he gives him that loan to buy the bronze for his shields.
Yeah. But it wasn't just a one-time thing.
Okay.
Arkad, he saw potential in Agar on his work.
Okay.
So each time Agar paid back the loan, Arkad would lend the money again, plus the interest it earned.
So he's like reinvesting his earnings.
Yeah, exactly. And generating even more wealth.
It's kind of like an early version of compound interest, right?
It is.
Yeah, that idea of making your money work for you.
Yeah.
And then the money that it earns works for you.
That snowball effect. It's a powerful force in investing, even today.
Yeah. And it's amazing to think, I mean, we're talking about concepts that are like thousands of years old,
Right.
and they're still so relevant today.
These stories, they capture principles that have stood the test of time.
Yeah. But even wise guys like Arkad, they weren't immune to making mistakes, were they?
Oh, no, not at all. Remember the brick maker?
Yeah, Asmore.
Yeah.
He got lured into that scheme to go to Phoenicia, right?
Yeah, and come back with rare jewels.
And he lost a year's worth of savings.
Yeah, and all he got were some worthless pieces of colored glass.
Right.
It's a classic case of chasing those quick riches,
Right.
It underscores the need for due diligence,
Yeah.
diversification,
Right.
and most importantly, getting expert advice before making big investments.
So you're saying even the richest guy in Babylon got taken sometimes?
It happens to the best of us. It's a good reminder to be cautious and informed.
Yeah. So I guess that leads us to cure number 4. Guard thy treasures from loss.
There you go. Protect what you've worked hard for.
All right, so we've got saving, budgeting, investing, and protecting our wealth. What are those last 3 cures all about?
Well, they kind of broaden the scope beyond just money.
Okay.
It's about our relationship with wealth and how it fits into our lives. So, cure number 5, for example, it's make of thy dwelling a profitable investment.
Ah, so like owning a piece of Babylon, right?
Ah, exactly.
Yeah.
Building stability, security.
Right. It's that foundation, that sense of being settled.
Think about it in modern terms. Owning
Yeah.
your home, it's often a solid investment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Right. Provides shelter and hopefully goes up in value over time.
Right. Building equity.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense. And cure 6 and 7.
Well, number 6 is ensure a future income. It's about providing for yourself and your family, if you can't work anymore,
Right.
kind of like insurance and retirement planning today.
Yeah. Okay.
And finally, cure number 7, increase thy ability to earn.
Ah, so this is about investing in yourself, right?
Exactly. Learning new skills, getting better at what you do.
To boost your earning power.
It's a holistic approach.
Yeah.
He saw the connection between our finances, our skills, our well-being.
I love that. So it's not just about hoarding gold. It's about growing as a person.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So those are the 7 cures for a lean purse.
Pretty powerful stuff, even thousands of years later.
Yeah. But there's more, right? I mean, you mentioned something about 5 laws of gold.
Ah, yes. These are the core of Arkad's philosophy.
Okay.
He considered them so valuable, he inscribed them on a clay tablet for his son, Nomasur.
A clay tablet.
Yeah, can you imagine?
More valuable than gold.
He valued those principles that much.
Wow.
Yeah, and in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to unlock those 5 laws of gold.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
We do. Get ready for some more timeless wisdom.
All right, listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our Babylonian adventure.
We're ready to dive into the 5 laws of gold.
Yeah, I'm really curious about these laws. I mean, we left off with Arkad valuing these inscribed clay tablets even more than a sack of gold.
It's pretty remarkable, right?
It is. So what makes them so special? I mean, how are they different from those 7 cures we talked about earlier?
Well, think of it this way. The 7 cures, those are like the practical steps, the building blocks,
Right.
creating wealth.
Okay, so like the bricks and mortar of our financial foundation.
The 5 laws, though, those are more like the blueprint
Oh.
guiding the whole process.
Ah, okay, so they're like the overarching principles that
Right, the
that.
mindset, the philosophy behind lasting wealth.
So it's more than just like the actions you take. It's about how you think about wealth.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, so let's unlock this blueprint then, starting with law number 1.
All right, law number 1 states, gold cometh gladly and increasing quantity to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings.
Okay, so this sounds familiar. It's like that first cure again, right? Start thy purse to fattening. Pay yourself first.
It is, but it goes a bit deeper.
Oh, okay.
It's not just about the action of saving, it's about the attitude behind it.
Okay.
This idea that wealth, or gold, it's attracted to those who value it, who make it a priority.
Interesting. So it's almost like you're inviting wealth into your life.
Yeah, creating a mindset of abundance.
Yeah, I mean, this almost sounds like that manifesting thing, right?
Right, that's a modern term.
Yeah.
But this first law, it suggests that, maybe the Babylonians were onto something all those centuries ago.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so what about law number 2?
Law number 2, it says, gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field.
Okay, so this is about investing, right? Making that gold multiply.
Yeah, but it's more than just, sticking your money in any old investment.
Yeah.
It's about being proactive. Finding the right opportunities, making your money work for you.
So it's like our wealth is not just sitting there, it's actively working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got a job to do.
Okay.
And that job is to grow and multiply.
I like that visual. All right, so law number 3, what's that one all about?
All right, law number 3 states, gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling.
Oh, okay, so this sounds like, maybe a little nod to Arkad's own experience, right? With the brickmaker, Asmor.
It is.
The importance of seeking expert advice.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right, especially when it comes to something as important as our finances.
And, it also emphasizes the need to be cautious,
Right.
to do our research, to not put all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that diversification thing.
Right.
Okay, so it's like a balancing act then between being open to opportunities,
Right.
but also like protecting what you have.
Exactly. Find that sweet spot.
All right. Law number 4 then. Let's hear it.
Law number 4 states, gold slippeth away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar, or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep.
Okay, so this one's all about staying within our circle of competence, right?
Yeah, not getting caught up in things we don't understand.
Right.
Do your due diligence.
Yeah, don't just jump into something because, everyone else is doing it or it sounds exciting.
Right, exactly. It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Yeah, that FOMO.
Right, that's a good way to put it.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, but this law is a good reminder to take a step back
Right.
and make sure we're making informed decisions.
All right, I'm ready for the final law. What wisdom does law number 5 impart?
Okay, law number 5, it states, gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment.
Wow, that's quite a mouthful.
It is.
But it sounds like it's like the culmination of all the other laws, right?
It is, yeah.
It's like a final warning against like greed,
Right.
recklessness,
Yeah.
naivete.
It's all about patience, discipline,
Right.
long-term thinking.
Okay, so it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Building wealth takes time.
Yeah. I mean, these 5 laws of gold, they really do paint a pretty comprehensive picture, don't they?
They do. They're like a roadmap to financial success.
Yeah, and it's not just about the principles themselves. It's about how they're presented.
Right. Klassen does a great job of weaving these principles into stories.
Yeah. And one story that I found particularly interesting was the one about Sharanada, the merchant prince, and his grandson, Hayden Gulla.
Ah, yes. The successful merchant who was once a slave.
Right. And the grandson who, kind of took his wealth for granted.
It's a powerful contrast.
It is. It makes you think about, our perceptions of work and wealth.
And how those perceptions can be shaped by our experiences.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to dive into their story and see what lessons we can glean.
Let's do it. Let's explore the transformative power of work.
Welcome back for the final leg of our trip back to ancient Babylon.
We've unearthed some real gems, haven't we?
Yeah, those 7 cures, the 5 laws of gold.
Timeless advice, really.
And those stories. I keep thinking about Sharanada, the merchant prince, and his grandson.
Ah, yes. Hayden Gulla. A tale of two perspectives, really.
It is. You've got Sharanada, this guy who rose from slavery to build a successful business.
Yeah. Embodied those Babylonian principles, hard work, resilience.
And then his grandson, Hayden Gulla, well, he's born with a silver spoon, right?
Yeah, he seems to have lost sight of the value of hard work.
Yeah, saw it as beneath him, almost.
It's a struggle, even today. Losing that connection to where wealth comes from.
Taking it for granted, yeah.
Thinking it's just luck or inheritance.
Right. But Sharanada's story, he kind of flips that idea on its head.
It does. Shows how powerful work can be, even when you start with nothing.
Yeah, it's not just about the money. It's about building something.
Character, skills, purpose.
Yeah. It's about taking control of your life.
The book talks about how Sharanada, even as a slave, he noticed his fellow slaves struggling to get food after working on those city walls.
Right. Long days.
Yeah, and he saw an opportunity.
So he starts a business, right? Selling food.
Exactly. Entrepreneurial spirit.
Recognizing a need, providing a solution.
That's a key ingredient in building wealth, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, Sharanada didn't let his circumstances define him.
No, he used what he had, his resourcefulness.
And saved. little by little, until he could buy his freedom.
Powerful example, you know?
It is. It reminds me of something Arkad said about opportunity. It's a haughty goddess.
Who wastes no time with those who are unprepared.
Right, so it's not just about being lucky.
It's about being ready for those lucky breaks when they come.
And that's where building a solid financial foundation comes in.
Absolutely.
Gives you that security, that
With
stability.
those impenetrable walls of Babylon.
Yeah, keeping those financial invaders at bay. All right, so we've got those Babylonian principles.
Saving, budgeting, investing, protecting.
We've got Sharonada's example of hard work and seizing opportunities.
And then there's, well, luck.
Yeah, the wild card.
Some folks seem to have it in spades, others, well, not so much.
Makes you wonder, right? But the Babylonians, they had a different take on luck.
They did. They believed in making your own luck.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Remember Arkad's words, opportunity doesn't wait for the unprepared.
Right, right. So it's not just about being in the right place at the right time.
It's about being ready.
Yeah. Having the knowledge, the skill,
And the resources.
so you could jump on those chances.
Luck might play a role, but it's not the whole story.
It's about putting yourself in a position to be lucky.
Exactly. And that takes effort, preparation.
All right, so as we wrap up our deep dive into Babylonian wisdom, let's recap, shall we?
Sure, let's do it.
Those 7 cures, they're our foundation.
Start thy purse to fattening, control thy expenditures, make thy gold multiply.
Guard thy treasures from loss.
Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Ensure a future income. Increase thy ability to earn.
Seek wisdom from those who possess it.
And build a strong financial foundation.
And remember, listeners, luck favors the prepared.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
May your purses be full and your financial foundations strong.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep diving deep.